Now, the last thing I want to do before I close out this NBA talk, this NBA discussion, talk to me about this USA basketball team.
uh, I don't know, man. After what Lillard said, man, it sounds like they don't have country pride, bro. They don't. You heard the comment that he said? He
Yeah,
said that these guys play a lot different for their country than they do in the league. Yeah, because they have freaking pride. They don't want to let their country down. USA is like,
man,
I don't care.
I don't think that's the case.
So I'm just saying that
Excuse me.
comment is pretty stupid. Because what you basically said is that they got more pride for their country than you guys do.
That's not what he said. He said nothing about pride. He just says they play a little bit differently, and this is why.
That's,
And this is
man, that's
I'm gonna defend. I'm gonna defend his comment because
all right.
those guys that we see that are balling out, obviously besides Luca, this has been happening. This has been happening. I remember watching Puerto Rico's team way back when, and Carlos Arroyo, who barely was getting minutes at Orlando, looked like Kobe Bryant when Puerto Rico was playing. So when it comes to them, you're asking role players, bench guys to be their number one. And they've already built a system and a program for those guys. Two, a lot of the Euros and a lot of those overseas guys are all shooting 37% from three. In the
Yeah.
NBA, I'm gonna put it in perspective for some of you guys. Damian Lillard, who we all consider a top five shooter, Damian Lillard is only shooting 38% from three. When those guys have multiple guys, a majority of their guys are shooting 37%. It fits their style. Three, they only play those rules, FIBA rules. They only play European ball rules. Whereas
Mhm.
over here, the rules are totally different. Yes, you can say it's softer. I would understand. I'm not here to argue with that, but I am saying that the officiating is 110% different, which is also why our guys are looking for fouls that they're just not getting. I've had friends that have played overseas, and the first thing they've always said when they came back is the first thing they noticed is physicality. That is the very first thing they've always said, and that's not playing at the bigger leagues such as Spain and whatnot. I'm talking about leagues like Switzerland and some German leagues. That's they've always said physicality, and it shows. It's showing right now. So, like I said, and then and let's all give because we're going to touch on this. Where everyone is giving Luca so much credit, and he had an amazing game. He scored 48. He was on pace to score
Mhm.
60, but they went up big, and obviously the cruise control was put on. And we're giving him so much credit. Luca has been playing European ball since he was 16 professionally.
Yep.
This dude grew up on this style of play. This is not nothing new to him. He had to adjust to the NBA. He don't have to adjust for FIBA. This is what he does. This is what he knows best. So as much of a dog as he's been, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that is what they should have came in and expected from those guys. Evan Fournier, man, just dropped damn near 30 on us. Come on, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it doesn't help when, like, what's crazy is the fact that we have so many players that you consider like closers in the NBA on that USA team. We were up four with like 2.5 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the closing time, and we just couldn't make a shot in the final 50 seconds. In the final minute, we couldn't make a bucket. Period. And I mean, I just find that crazy how we have so many closers or so many players that we're known to close games out, and then you can't make anything when the game's on the line in the Olympics. It makes no sense.
Well, this is where I have to start pointing some blame. One, I'm pointing the blame over at Kevin Durant. Dude was in foul trouble all game. He never was able to get going.
Nope. He
Uh,
fouled out.
Damian Lillard, I don't want to give him any. I'm not really blaming him, but you not being able to shoot anything, make anything, that's an issue. But most importantly, my issue is with Pop. My issues with Pop. He's still running. They are still running offensive sets that the Spurs championship team is running. Like
Mhm.
one, you don't have a facilitator on your team I like a Tony Parker to be able to run that. Damian Lillard and Tony Parker are two totally different players. Second of all, you don't have the versatility in bigs. I mean, you have Bam, but if you're going to use Bam, you need to play Bam a lot more than you do. And and yes, like I said, you don't have a facilitator. So this is where you probably should call Steve Kerr and you should say, "Look, bro, my guys, they're not really facilitators. Damian Lillard is a great point guard, but he's never been a guy to sit here and just dime away and get others involved, right?" So I would
Yep.
call Steve Kerr and I say, Steve, okay, how does Draymond work best? I would have Draymond bring up the ball just like Steve Kerr does. And of course, it's not flashy. He doesn't sit here and dribble with the ball for more than 5 seconds when he crosses the half court. But he gets the
Mm-hmm.
ball and he runs the sets. That's the best way I think to utilize the talent that we have because that would put Damian Lillard in more off ball situations. Obviously, that puts Kevin Durant in some off ball situations who we all know coming off the screen is going to knock down that jump shot. And then that's the style you should run. If it comes to a style where you want to play pick and roll, then you can put the ball back in Damian Lillard's hands. When it comes to a style where you want to play isolation ball, then that's when you call Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and you get them the ball. But I mean, the players you have to adjust to them. I mean, even Zach Levine. Zach Levine is an isolation player as well. So we got a guys that's a bunch of one-on-one guys. So
Mm-hmm.
now Pop has to make it work and stop being lazy and just basically saying, "Hey, all stars are going to make it work."
Yeah, I mean, it. I just I don't know. Obviously, coming into the Olympics, we showed some struggle as well because obviously we lost to Nigeria and then we lost to Australia, right?
Yep.
And then we had one more game against who was that third game against where we won pretty easily?
Spain.
Was it Spain?
Yeah.
Spain's usually pretty good too, aren't they?
Yeah, but Spain's also older.
Yeah, they are. But but yeah, I mean, obviously we had some struggles, and then it continued to show during the Olympics. I mean, again, we had control of the game for. I
Hmm.
mean, it was going back and forth for most of the game, and then we kind of looked like we were going to pull it away, and then that final 2 minutes, we couldn't do anything.
Right.
And when you struggle to basically score in the final 2 minutes, obviously depending on the shots, because we had some open shots, like Kevin Durant missed some wide open threes
Yep.
at the top of the key that you just don't expect, and then obviously you had Lillard who had the ball at the top of the key and slipped down at the end, and then that pretty much was the nail in the coffin. But
Yep.
I mean, you can blame it on coaching because yes, adjustments can be made. But at the same time, I mean, that's just one of those games. The shots weren't falling because when you see Kevin Durant have open threes, you just assume that's going to go in.
Hmm.
And then we had another miss with Drew Holiday in the corner, wide open. He missed. I mean, we just weren't making buckets.
Yeah, and that's why I said that is one of those games where it happens. It's basketball. It's gonna be
Yeah,
games out there where you're just not hitting. But that's why I said that's where adjustments have to come along. Um, and the defense wasn't horrible. I mean, honestly, we held them to barely scoring 82. And that was with
yeah,
us being trash. That's us not hitting shots. So the defense, it's not
yeah.
that the defense wasn't there. It's just we got to get something going offensively, and we just got to freaking. The thing is, you can't leave no one open. And honestly, I think we are way too talented to even help on anybody, especially
Yeah.
on drives. Maybe down in the post. Obviously, Rudy Gobert is not even an offensive guy, but you still have to kind of give him a second eye because he's just so much bigger than everybody we have out there. But besides the bigs, dribble drive, guys, don't crash. Stay in front of your man and play some damn defense. I mean, it's that simple. Evan Fournier should not have scored 28. He should not have continued to have open 3-point shots throughout the whole game. It's not like he scored 15 in the second quarter, and kind of inflated his stats. He was scoring throughout the game. He was making key buckets throughout the game. Those last like 3 minutes, he still hit two more threes.
Mhm.
I mean, they're gonna figure it out. I'm a firm believer that they're going to place. All right, they're going to place.
I hope you're right, but it ain't looking pretty, man.
They're going to place just because they're naturally better. I mean, Spain is still
They are naturally better, but
perennial.
at the
They're a
same time,
perennial European team. Besides them, besides Slovakia, who's after that that's going to beat us? I don't see Australia beating us again. Sorry, I don't. Nigeria, they just got what? Like I just seen them get 20, 30 piece in their first game to Australia. So I
yeah,
don't even want to hear nothing about Nigeria. um, uh,
they made like what was it, like 20 or 33? I think it was like 20 plus threes against us.
yeah, bro, 20
They
plus
shot
30
lights out.
and again, they still barely won.
Hmm.
That's the thing. We are losing. Yes, that's an issue. But look at what it's taking for us to lose. And this is us playing probably the worst basketball us as Americans have seen since before the Redeem Team.
Yeah,
So
you're
something's gonna give.
definitely right about that.
Either stars are gonna start hitting shots, or somebody's gonna step up in the locker room and say, "Okay, guys, this is unfucking believable," or Pop is gonna make the adjustments necessary necessary to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, I
That's just
hope
how
you're
it's gonna
right.
be.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I remember when we lost that first game. I tweeted out saying, "I guarantee that we will not lose another game this year." And we lost the very next one. Safe to say that guarantee was not a guarantee, but I mean, I feel like this on paper. Obviously, games aren't played on paper, and there's a reason for that. But on
Hmm.
paper, we are more talented than every team by a mile. Like
Oh
it's
yeah,
not close.
yep,
Because I mean, we got the every game we probably have four of the top five players on the court at all times,
yep,
and I don't see how we can win. How we don't keep it close. Like we should be blowing them out because the closer you keep it, or the longer you keep it close, the more hope that other team has.
yep.
And when you give another team hope, sometimes that's all they need, and then we see us lose games that we shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, Evan Fournier came out and said it post game. He's like, yeah, they have a lot of individual talent. They're great individually, but as a team,
Yep.
they can be beat. That was his
Yeah.
words, and he was
Yeah.
110% spot on. Nothing he said was offensive. It was right. It was right.
Yeah. 100% right because we are more talented than every team we're going to be against. But if we're not working well as a team, I mean, that's just how it goes.
Listen, all I know is we got Slovakia next, and Lucas dropping 60.
Oh, you know he's going to. He's going to be. But I hope we 20 piece him.
I do too. I hope we turn it around, turn the piece and give the country hope again. Because right now, I think everybody's kind of writing us off.
Yep. I know. I'm getting there. If we
Well,
lose our next game, man,
so
I
that's
don't
it
know.
for us.
Pretty much.
Well, that basically wraps up everything I have, for today. Even for
Yep.
basketball, I'm about done with it. Um, Obviously, I still can't wait to see how USA is going to do. Can't wait to see this offseason in the NBA. And even on a shorter term, I can't wait till the draft. I hope Orlando makes some noise. I hope we get some trades. Maybe CJ McCollum gets moved. I want to see something big, something
Yeah.
crazy happen. So,
Hey, there's talk about Pascal Siakam.
like, yeah, I seen that. I seen that, and that's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of rumors. I mean, the offseason in basketball, I don't know if there's a better sport for off season. I really don't.
I don't either
Because
because so much can happen.
yep, and then free agency. Obviously, you got free agency where people like Timothy Mozgov get paid like 20 mil a year.
Hey, mind your business, or Orlando messed that up, man.
Orlando, y'all didn't pay him, did he?
Yeah, we paid him, or we ended up getting him from somebody who paid him.
Yeah, I thought it was the Lakers that paid him.
Probably, I can't remember.
It
I
was
just know that
somebody
fucker
stupid.
ended up on my team, and we
I
had him.
remember that year. That year, so many people got paid that had no business getting paid. Like, I
That's
mean,
very
I'm
true.
talking role players getting paid 18, 20 million a year. That
Yeah.
that was crazy.
And because of that year, we got Dennis Schroeder asking for $100 million. Goodbye, boy.
Yeah. I hope the Lakers don't pay him.
But yeah, that wraps it up. Steve-O, thank you for being part of the show as always. It's always a pleasure speaking with you.
Yep, always glad to be here, man.
And for all of you guys who is listening, please, first and foremost, thank you. But please don't forget to follow us. We're on all social media platforms. That is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube under NBA Cast. Like I said, we're constantly hitting you guys with updates, especially on Twitter. We're always uh, commenting under other sites, interacting with people, having fun with it. So always be on the lookout, comment back, have fun with us as well. You never know when your comment's going to be on the next show. Again, for the third time tonight, this show. Don't forget, Thursday is our NBA draft special. We will be around for the lottery only, which is the top 14 teams, because we understand that most of America don't give a damn about any pick outside or even the top 10. So we'll be cutting it off at 14 so we don't take up your whole night, but we will also still stick around and probably be posting throughout Twitter, as the draft continues. So with
Yep.
that being said, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next time.